My name is Marcus Möller Bitsch, and I work as well, it's a little bit of an odd mixture, but I'm primarily a stop motion director, stop motion animator and photographer. I started with stop motion in Paris. So I lived in Paris for about 5.5, 7 years. I worked with a lot of the French newspapers, and at the time the French newspapers was transitioning into having online or digital versions of their newspapers. And I had this idea of, why don't we let the photos and illustration come alive online, you know, because there needs to be some kind of value to read the article online. So I started pitching them different kinds of photo illustrations that were still in the newspaper, but when you visited online, suddenly everything came alive. A little bit like Harry Potter. Yeah. I think stop motion is an amazing medium because it's a good way to get a lot of human imperfections into it. Like if you're doing animation, CGI, or yeah, I guess today AI, everything becomes very sterile or fake, too plasticky. But with stop motion, because everything is real, you feel the fingerprints, you feel the human inside the animation, and it's something I think is so magical. These are like all the different old projects. So here we have the bad boy. It's a very early puppet. Yeah, so the Bad Boy trilogy was my production company, Eddie's idea to have me produce some kind of triptych with some kind of character. And it was the first like real character or puppet animation that I was going to do. So I thought to myself, maybe it's not a good idea with fingers, to have a puppet with fingers, because there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of interaction. So let's avoid fingers. Okay, then we have like something like this. Then you don't have that many animals to choose from. It could be a seal, it could be a fish, or for example a bat. Okay. And then the character design became like this because of limits or obstructions that I set to myself to make it easier. And my idea at the time was to have this bad boy, or imagine that this bat was living inside my apartment and what it would be doing when I was sleeping. So it would fly around through rings of fire in the living room, or have a party while I was sleeping, or you know, this kind of stuff. Going for blood oranges because it's a bat. Of course my job can be very stressful, but I love it. I live and breathe for the very, very stressful and very tough days at set, with the whole crew crammed in a studio and you're working 14-hour days, and it's just like there's so much tension while you are needing to animate and do something so meticulous and careful. No, I love that. Of course it can be difficult, but I love it. And this whole new idea with AI and how that is going to affect my work, that's also challenging, but it's also just a new tool that I can use, and that's also exciting. I love that. For example, last year I did a Christmas campaign for a Danish jewelry brand, or worldwide brand, Pandora, where we did some different types of stop motion films, but all the props within the films were then also displayed in the window displays in the shops. So suddenly the customers could see, oh, this looks beautiful on the screens on Instagram and so on, but they could also see that it was actually real and it was living inside the real world. And this 360 interaction between real and digital, AI will never be able to do something like this, never. So with time where CGI and AI is gonna grow bigger and bigger and it's gonna be easier and easier to produce something nice and quickly, I believe that these brands will then go the opposite direction. They will go even further into everything handcrafted and everything real and everything human, because the more computer we get, the more artificial intelligence we get, the greater the need for human interaction and human touch will also be. And I think stop motion is the perfect place to be in because it's real.